We are back again, trendy travelers. You just sit back and enjoy today's jam-packed show. First, let's take a look at some art pieces created by only women using cutting-edge technology. And if you are fascinated by animals, we will be embracing nature on a beautiful and educational game drive. Of course, we'll take you to the southwest coast, the only mother city, Cape Town, for a satisfying and much-needed sunset foraging. And to wrap up the show, we get to watch ladies stand in their power as they showcase their beauty and exude confidence through burlesque dancing. Inspired by the freedom to let the mind wander, this showcase, themed In the Clouds, is curated by women. It also features art pieces created by South African female artists who have incorporated traditional art of paintings with cutting-edge technology.
Usurpa is actually the first digital gallery in South Africa and to show NFTs. And so with them and the help of the Samsung screens, we're able to display the digital art. Before, if you wanted to display digital art, you kind of would have to do prints only, but now you're able to display it on these kinds of screens. But also if you have animated works, you can display it how it needs, how it's supposed to look versus just printing out a still from it,
This is only happening for Women's Month. What then after that?
Women definitely should be celebrated all the time, and that's just at the forefront. We're always trying to push African women wherever we can. So we are gonna work on more shows and try and create more opportunities. But now that we've onboarded some more artists from here, maybe they can come together and create and put on shows out here and help other artists learn about this process, and then it can just keep spreading and keep growing, because this is important technology, and we don't want to be left behind while everyone else is getting in on it. So I think everyone would just naturally spread it out to their peers.
These esteemed artists, whose work is featured in the exhibition, showed admiration to the steadily growing inclusion and recognition of women in the arts.
I'm so glad. It's amazing to see your work in real life, because as an artist, a digital artist, I've always been seeing my work being exhibited internationally, but this is the first time, because of spaces like this, I get to see my digital art exhibited on a screen locally. That is a digital painting that I animated. So with that piece, it's titled He'll Text Back Soon, and it's talking about, in talking stages, especially with the theme In the Clouds that this exhibition has, talking about, aspirations, hopes, and the delusions you might have, especially when it comes to relationships. So with that painting, I wanted to show that delusion of when you can see that someone, you're texting someone who you're hoping will be interested in you, but because they start replying a little bit later and not responding to you, you still have that hope that something will come out of it, but you kind of know that, oh, no, that thing's gonna come out of that sort of relationship.
This is a painting installation that I have done where I've hand-prepared lace paper with the material lace, and then I've painted over it. And it's a physical painting that I did, and then I was working with the powerhouse that is Usurpa, and they digitized it.
What inspired this, your love for art?
I think the therapy of it, I think the actual activity of art making, for me, I find to be extremely therapeutic and I think satisfying, seeing something come from an idea in your head and seeing it manifest into the physical. But I think also what inspired me to take it from a hobby to something that I do is, I remember when I was still studying and I did visual arts in high school, I had an amazing teacher named Mr. Nkomo who took my class and I on artist studio visits. And it was the first time that I encountered artists working and living as art. Art is the thing that feeds them. I had never imagined that this thing that I enjoy doing with my hand, just based off of my ideas and my experiences, can give me that level of freedom and exposure to the world. More than just myself, I think it's beneficial for younger Black women who are just sitting there with a skill that they're not sure where to take. Because I remember when I started out, I studied architecture first, and then I had to switch I made the decision to switch to fine arts. And it was difficult to explain that to my family because they didn't have a reference of like a black female artist where they can say, okay, this is the kind of life that I want you to live. Their perspective and understanding of what artist and what painting is was like maybe the people on the side of the road selling paintings type of thing. So they didn't think that there's a future here or there's anything. So I think all of these things that are happening are affirming that this is important and that there's room for your skills and your ideas, not just for me, but for all the young women coming after me.
Excitedly off on a game drive to see some of nature's most beautiful animals. You see, this sanctuary prides itself with its very edutaining game drives. On this slightly bumpy ride, some very interesting facts about the animals and their behavior are relayed by insightful rangers. Alfie the hyena was rather delighted to have visitors.
Hyenas, to me, they relate more to human beings to that. Knowing very well they are not expert hunters, whenever they're subjected to enough food, they eat what they can eat, what they cannot eat. They do not leave it on the ground. They have to pick up almost everything, find a secretive place where they dig and they hide the food for tomorrow.
Animals sometimes behave like people. What other traits do hyenas possess that are similar to humans?
They go and attack as a pack. Just like us human beings, should we want to bring more food, we have to go in numbers. So based on that behaviorism, hyenas are more close to human beings.
Lions are always fascinating to learn about. Known as the king of the jungle, it's a pleasure to meet Frick, the Mufasa of this pride. You'll be impressed by how lions have similar traits to us.
Though they are much smaller in size compared to the likes of elephants, rhinos, buffaloes, and hippopotamus, lions are not scared to go and attack those big animals. They can bring down anyone, and they are not scared of anyone on this planet Earth. They are not designed to do hunting. They are designed to protect females from other males. Just like us human beings, when it comes to the lions, they go extra mile protecting their females from other males by urinating on the ground. You see them using their hind legs to throw the urine all over as a way of what? Protecting their females. Not only females, but also their cubs. But male lions are very, very selfish. They can only protect cubs of their own bloodline. Female lions are expert hunters. When it comes to bring food on the table, it is the female's responsibility to go and hunt. Just like us human beings back home, it is the female's responsibility to bring food on the table. In mammals, females are so attracted to big males naturally. That's why strong males, if it is lions, they are characterized by having longer mane and also darker mane. That signifies strong genes.
With the help of the rangers, you can also meet Friendly, Bandit, and Blaze. These cheetahs enjoy gently petting. Initially terrifying, this bonding session with cheetahs leaves one feeling cuddly and very courageous. What makes this sanctuary unique?
You get a chance to actually interact with one of the big cat species that we've got, known as your cheetahs. Now these guys are fully grown 5 towards 6-year-old males, and they've been here since the beginning. They've formed such a bond with us staff here at Lion and Cheetah, where they are so used to human interaction, and that makes it special. A lot of people only see these animals on television, where they can now experience this at Lion and Cheetah up close.
What else is happening in the surrounding areas that makes this place so attractive?
So in the neighboring areas, we've got a lot of other activities, anything from ziplining, bow shooting, quad biking, horse riding, even hot air ballooning. We've got overnight accommodation available. We've got self-catering units, and then on top of the mountain is a place known as Sunset Boma. It is a luxury tented safari camp that can house 6 people, and you book out the whole facility.
A day well spent on a game drive, learning about some amazing characteristics of most of the animals that are here. Hey, I've never ever come this close to a cheetah before, but guess what? I even got the luxury of touching and petting one today. What a fantastic place to come and spend Father's Day.
Let the sunset vibes continue. We hopped on a very scenic bus ride for a nature experience at Veld and Sea, which is located in the Cape Point in the mother city.
Foraging is basically defined as gathering something from the wild that hasn't been cultivated by humans for human consumption. And so today, with our group, we headed out into the wilds, into the veld, and we went looking for a beautiful wild fruit called sour figs or siervy. It's got many common names, and it has a very specific little micro season, and we happily captured it in a pocket of flavor. And these fruits are just so delicious, so beautiful.
Try it. Good. I'm like breaking it. Pull it. That one's sweet.
The foraging was later followed by a meal inspired by nature in nature.
Every season here in Cape Town and everywhere in the world really has a different flavor profile and set of unique wild flavors depending on what season it is. Here in the Western Cape, in summertime, it's coastal foraging season. Then in autumn, we head to the forests and the fields for wild mushrooms. In wintertime, the flavor comes alive on land and we go wild food land foraging. And in springtime, the earth celebrates with flowers and we host our edible flower experiences. Our menu is inspired by the seasons and what is available locally and from the mountains, from our gardens, from the coastline. So there were a few different elements included. We had some rotis, and everything has a little bit of wild flavor in it. We don't want to introduce it in an unfamiliar context. We want to introduce it into a context that is familiar. So we've introduced it into rotis. There is pine oil that is in our beautiful carrot salad, for instance. We have a mushroom curry, which is quite unusual, but it is the season of mushrooms right now, and infused into the curry is sour figs, which are in season in the veld.
After that, we went straight to festival mode. So mid-groove, I had a chat with our faves about their awareness and contributions to the environment.
I know that is something that is close to you and you like telling stories about that. And why are you so aligned with that message, you know?
I think fundamentally as a planet we don't have a choice. This is the world that we're living in. We need to make good choices about how we live. We have to live sustainably. But there are a lot of people who say this and very few who do this. Corona is a brand that's doing it. So for me, everything from the vendors that are here today to the philosophy behind the artists that are being supported to the networks that are involved in this festival, it's from the ground to the top. And that kind of 360 approach, I think if we can plug this into festivals around the globe, we're going to be in a better place as a planet. And for me, that's a big reason why I do work with Corona.
When it comes to sustainability and being eco-friendly, what do you do towards that?
So a lot of the cabins we pick are based off sustainability. So it's cabins that are off the grid, it's cabins that have solar panels and all that kind of thing. And obviously we recycle at home, we do all that good stuff. And it was amazing today going through all the sustainability activities up top there, and kind of seeing how you organic dye for fabric and things like that. So I love the way the brand's going. I love the way the world's going with regards to sustainability. massive for us. Yeah.
I don't want to lie. I mean, when we were introduced to the paper straws, I hated them so much because it's just like my juice now is sinking, leading. But I don't want to lie. Now it makes sense more because I mean, I'm someone in my home. I do not have like a plastic and a paper thing. I just throw everything away, and then can't do that. Whole thing ends up in like in the ocean or sea. So now I'm gonna be more careful about it. Just to choose. I mean, it's simple. Just change your lifestyle. You're not budgeting that much. It's just like a simple things. You know, use less plastic, and then you'll be good.
Yeah, guys, just do less.
Just do less.
Less is more.
Less plastic. Right.
That's all we have for you, but Trendy, we'll see you.
This riveting performance captures a kaleidoscope of emotions that weave the intricate tapestry of women's lives. From tales of passion and betrayal to moments of drama and excitement, Labella offers an invitation to explore courage, delve deep within oneself and unveil an inner strength that knows no limits. This is an unforgettable showcase that celebrates the power and resilience of women in all their glory.
What we do in the show is aerial and burlesque dancing. So we're up in the air doing crazy things, lifting each other, dropping from the sky, and then we do a lot of cabaret burlesque style, which is a very sensual style, very flirty, very sassy style of dance, but very sensual as well. So it allows women to express themselves and use that sensuality through the movement of burlesque.
Would you say this type of dancing, burlesque, is it demeaning to women or is it empowering?
No, it's definitely empowering. And we've seen it when we perform on stage. The more comfortable we feel as women performing, the more comfortable the audience feels. Suddenly women feel empowered, they feel sexy, they feel like it's okay to be sensual and sexy. And that's what this is about. It's allowing a woman to feel that, and it's okay to feel it. It's no removal of clothing in the show particularly, but it's just that style of being sensual. And of course men enjoy it because it is sexy, it's visually appealing for men, but we find at the end of the show, which you'll experience, is it's more an emotional show for women. It's telling women that it's okay to express, it's okay to be beautiful, and it's okay to look at yourself and say, I am beautiful. We don't need to get it from anybody else.
If I'm a woman and I'd like to try it, what is it that I should know about it, the benefits?
It works emotionally as a style of dance, which I found is so beneficial for all women.
Okay, let's talk about the show, Labella. For how long is this going to go on, and what can people expect?
The show is about, we talk about relationships in the show. It takes us on a journey through losing yourself in a relationship because you think that somebody else can and remind you of the star that you are and love you the way you think you need to be loved. So you invest everything you can in your partner, in your relationships. And then it takes a bit of a turn where it becomes a bit of a dark relationship and it's controlling and possessive, and almost to say, you don't need to be that little star, you're my star. You know, you don't need to shine, I'll speak for you. You know, just be my beautiful trophy girl. And it happens in society where women are suppressed in a sense, where they can't be empowered because it's intimidating to be a powerful woman. And so the show continues where she discovers that this is not what I want. I don't recognize myself as this person. So she decides to kind of follow her dreams to become a star, and she travels the world and becomes famous and has all the jewels and all the love from her audience and her spectators. And at the end of the show, she realizes once again she feels empty because it's external love, it's things, it's materialistic things. And actually what she wants is to look at herself in the mirror and say, you are the person I love. You are the person I identify with. You are okay to be you. You don't need to be anybody else.
And like everybody says, if you cannot beat them, join them. This is why I look like this, so glorious, like a burlesque dancer, right? Yeah. I'm at the backstage, and before the performance starts, let's talk about your role in today's performance. What is it?
So I play the character Foxy, and she is just kind of taking you on a journey with her as she goes through meeting this guy and thinking that he's the love of her life, and she's eventually safe and going to be loved, and then things get a little bit dark and toxic, and she ends up having to make a decision to fight for her life and get back on her own 2 feet and discover who she really is and to love herself for it.
Okay, so by narrating a dance performance, how do you do that?
So it's quite interesting. I'm also the singer of the show, so we use a combination of dialogue and singing and dance and movement to tell the story. So, it's really amazing how we've infused it to kind of like pull the story through using all 3 of these elements.
Also, burlesque dancing is an excellent way of looking after your mental health and well-being. You will learn about self-love and body appreciation, a benefit to your overall health.
This has been so important for my mental health, for my physical health, meeting a group of friends, meeting people from really different backgrounds and just expanding my mind and my horizons. It's really been just great in every way.
The classical music sector has long been dominated by men, a situation only amplified for the classical saxophonists. The sexism in the industry is slowly but surely changing. Look at this.
Females want to come out, but when you do come out, as myself, I always feel like I need to fight my way as a woman in a group of men. That's how I feel that women don't come out more because of that space. Today, I'm in the second half, coming out in our most beautiful outfits. You'll see it. I'm with Danica, which we're doing like 4 songs together. So it's a beautiful movement.
Girls, what can you say to your peers just to motivate them and other aspiring dancers?
Honestly, they shouldn't care what people think, because I feel like if you care what people think, it's just going to bring you down and your energy is going to go down. All the girls out there should express themselves this month to be who they are, and don't let anybody bring that down.
Goodbyes are not forever. We shall do this again same time next week. Let's stay connected on socials at Trendz SABC. Thank you. Bye.